This is The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic. But Mom, there's no way I can hit those paces today. My 15-year-old daughter Tess was not happy with the workout I had put on her schedule. It was already 85 degrees with the sun beating down, and I had planned a cut-down run that day that would have been no big deal on a cool spring morning. She probably still could have hit those paces, but it would have taken a heroic effort, far beyond what we wanted from an ordinary Thursday workout. So I slowed down her paces significantly, about 30 seconds per mile, or roughly 18 seconds per kilometer. And what she said when she was done was something you'll probably find instantly relatable. I'll get into what happened later on. Tess knew even before she started her run that the heat would make everything harder. But what she wasn't thinking about was what it was doing to her confidence. What do you think? Is the challenge of running in the heat mostly physical, or is there something else going on? Let's find out. Welcome to The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic, and my mission is to help you improve your running, your mindset, and your life with science-backed training and plant-based nutrition. Today, we're talking about what I think is the hardest part of summer running. We all expect the heat to make us uncomfortable. We expect to sweat more, and we expect to slow down. But what catches runners off guard is how quickly a few slower splits can make us question months of good training. In this episode, you'll learn why summer changes the way you should read your watch, how to adjust your training without second-guessing your fitness, and what runners should be paying attention to when the weather refuses to cooperate. If you're getting far too stressed out about summer running and you need an actionable way to change your perspective, I've made something just for you. It's called the Readiness Reset, and you can get it for free right now. It's a 7-minute audio that combines guided visualization with cognitive conditioning, designed to train the exact response you need when running gets hard. I'll talk about it more later on in the show, but if you'd like access for free right now, head to theplantedrunner.com/reset. That's theplantedrunner.com/RESET. Don't forget to stick around all the way to the end of the episode for this week's Mental Strength Minute. Fortify your mind in 60 seconds or less. Summer running doesn't just make you slower. It makes you uncertain. And most runners have a much lower tolerance for uncertainty than they think. And let's talk about why. When the temperature climbs, your body has to divert resources to cool you down. Blood that would normally go straight to your working muscles gets rerouted to your skin so you can sweat and release heat. Your heart has to work harder to keep both systems supplied, which is why your heart rate creeps up even when your pace doesn't. This is all completely normal, and it's also completely invisible until you look at your watch and start asking yourself what's wrong with you. The answer is nothing is wrong with you. Your body is doing exactly what it's supposed to keep you safe. But here's the part that we can get so fixated on. A slower split in July doesn't feel like a weather problem. It feels like a fitness problem. And once a runner starts to believe their fitness is slipping, they start making decisions from that belief instead of from what's actually happening in their training. Maybe they'll add extra workouts to catch up, or they'll panic check race predictor calculators. They compare this week's paces to their Strava entries from April. None of that is real data. That's your ego trying to manufacture certainty out of a situation that simply doesn't have any right now. I'll get into how to actually train through this and why it matters beyond the month of August right after this. If today's episode hits home, I want to tell you about something that can help the next time your splits don't match your expectations. It's called the Readiness Reset, and it's completely free. It's a 7-minute audio that combines guided visualization with cognitive conditioning designed to train the exact response you need when running gets hard. Not after the fact, in the moment, while it's happening. Use it before a tempo run, before a long run, before you toe the line on race day. And here's the part that matters most. The more you use it, the more automatic the response becomes. It's not about motivation. It's about repetition and neuroplasticity. We talk about those a lot on this show, and it's applied to the exact moment you need it most, when your pace slips and your brain starts telling you a story about what that means. Go get it right now at theplantedrunner.com/reset. That's theplantedrunner.com/reset, and it's completely free. Use it this summer when the heat is testing you the most. Welcome back to The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic. So if pace is not a reliable measure of fitness in the summer, what is? Well, of course, it's effort every single time. Rate of perceived exertion, or RPE, sometimes called rate of perceived effort, is a scale that runners and coaches use to describe how hard something feels, independent of what your watch says. On a scale of 1 to 10, an easy run should maybe feel like a 2 or 3. Your cut down intervals should feel hard, maybe a 7 or 8, regardless of what pace you're running. Of course, it's going to feel harder at the end than it will at the beginning, so average out your effort throughout the workout. In the summer, the pace that produces an 8 out of 10 effort is simply going to be slower than it is in, let's say, October. That's not your fitness, that's physics. Heart rate can help you with this too if you like using that regularly and you already know your patterns. If your heart rate is in the same zone you'd expect for, let's say, a normal tempo run, you are right where you should be, even though your pace is slower in the summer. The runners who come out of the summer the strongest aren't the ones who force their spring paces on a 90-degree day. They're the ones who can look at a slower number and not spiral. They can tolerate the uncertainty of not knowing exactly what their fitness looks like right now and trust that the work is still working. That skill, tolerating uncertainty without needing an immediate answer, is not just a summer running skill. It's the skill running underneath almost everything hard in life. Think about the last time you didn't know how something was going to turn out. A job interview, a hard conversation with your kid, whether you hit your fundraising goal for your charity bib, or whether you'd land the dream client. Somewhere in there, you probably tried to force certainty where none actually existed. You built a story, good or bad, so that your brain would have something to hold on to. We do this because uncertainty is uncomfortable, and the brain's whole job is to keep you safe. Not knowing feels unsafe. So the brain fills in a story, and it almost always fills in a negative one because a negative story feels more useful for protecting you than a neutral, let's just wait and see story. But a runner who has practiced tolerating uncertainty on a hot Tuesday morning, who can finish a workout slower than planned and think that was still good work instead of I'm losing my fitness, is building the exact same mental muscle they will need the next time life hands them an unclear outcome. This is a big part of why I built Begin with 10, my cognitive conditioning program, the way that I did. The work isn't just about being calm in the moment. It's about training your brain to sit inside an unresolved situation without immediately needing to escape it with a story. Because the story you reach for under pressure is almost always the same one you've reached for 100 times before, whether or not it's even true. So here's what I want you to do this summer. When your splits come back slower than you expected, don't reach for the old story. Ask yourself what the effort actually felt like. Ask if your heart rate matches what you would expect for that type of run. Let your paces be what they are without turning it into evidence about who you are as a runner. You're allowed to not know exactly where your fitness stands right now. That not knowing is not a problem to solve. It's a skill to practice. Tess finished her cut-down workout with her slower paces and even managed to finish the last fast mile about 10 seconds faster than was written. Still slower than the original paces, but not too far off. And here's what she told me. She said, "That felt so much better, Mom. I'd rather just hit my paces, even if they're slower, and feel good about it, than miss my paces completely, even if the run was the exact same." So instead of feeling like she was struggling and overreaching, she ended the workout feeling positive. Same run, same weather, completely different perspective. And now it's time for this week's Mental Strength Minute. Fortify your mind in 60 seconds or less. Today's topic is borrowed confidence. One of the reasons coaching and training partners matter so much is that they can see things that you can't alone. On a difficult day, it's easy to focus on one slow split or one bad workout and convince yourself you're going backwards. Sometimes you need someone else to remind you that one run is just one run. If you don't have that person, try becoming that voice for yourself. Next time a workout doesn't go as planned, ask yourself the same question you'd ask a friend. What would I tell someone I care about after this run? Your answer is probably much kinder and much more accurate than the story you're telling yourself. Thank you for listening to The Planted Runner, part of the Evergreen Podcast Network. Don't forget that you can enter to win a free custom training plan for your next race and get featured on the show. Just write an Apple Podcast review and enter at theplantedrunner.com/PRLab. Of course, reviews are the #1 way to boost this show's reach, and it's a great way to tell me what you'd like to hear next because I read every single one. Have a great run today.